In honor of Elvis in theaters now, we decided, let's make a video.
Who's Elvis Presley?
Elvis is the guy in the movie.
Oh!
He's got the hair, he sings the songs.
Sings the songs and shakes his hips.
People always talk about Elvis as a musician and his music and stuff, but why not discuss his representation in film and movies? He was an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He liked to play a wide variety of Elvises. He was either a musician Elvis, a country Elvis, or he was a race car driver. Those were his three unique roles for the most part. We're going to talk about his movies, but we're also list 12 particular movies that really stood out to us in terms of uses of the songs in those movies.
We might get comments saying, but he didn't write that song. I don't care. He sung them.
Yeah, and he was good, and he sang them good.
Really good.
So real quick, I'm going to run through my own personal top 10 ranking of Elvis Presley movies that Elvis Presley was in. Not people playing Elvis Presley. I've seen 17 of them. There are 31. But I'm going to go through them really quickly. Number 10, Spin Out. This is one where he plays a race car driver.
You're going to know how it feels to spin out.
Number 9, Kid Galahad. This is one where he plays a young gentleman who is very favored with the ladies. A really far stretch for this guy. Number 8, I have Tickle Me. And this is one of the more fun movies where he's just with a bunch of girls and he's at this spa, beach resort kind of thing, and all these girls are like, I want to be with Elvis, his character, you know. So that's the entire movie. But it's fun because it's that. 7 is Blue Hawaii. This has a very nice look to it, and he obviously sings Blue Hawaii, and he plays a little ukulele in Hawaii.
Only fools rush in.
Is he Hawaiian?
No, he's from Tennessee. Land of Grace.
You'd see where I get that mixed up.
Because it's Hawaii.
Yeah.
6, I have Girl Happy. This is very similar to Tickle Me in terms of these girls are happy to see this guy, and he just kind of walks around doing Elvis stuff. It's a fun, little, silly, goofy movie. These are not masterpieces, but they're fun, because Elvis is fun.
Yes, I'm happy, yes, I'm happy.
And 5, this one is kind of unique. This one is called Flaming Star. This is actually a Western, and this is directed by Don Siegel, who directed Escape from Alcatraz and many other great films.
That's a great one.
Probably the most acclaimed director that he's worked with. Number 4, I have It Happened at the World's Fair. This one is really charming, I think. This is one of my personal favorites. He has a lot of songs in it, obviously, and he hangs around with this woman and this girl, and he just goes around the World's Fair, and stuff happens.
Hey, kid, how would you like to kick me in the shin?
How would I like to kick you in the shin?
Huh?
Mister, are you drunk?
No kidding. I'll tell you what. If you kick me in the shin real hard, I'll give you a quarter. Okay, go ahead, play it. Ah! It's a good one. It's a good one, boy.
Adams. They're all nuts.
3, I have Love Me Tender. This is also a Western, and he sings songs in this one, actually. And one of those songs, believe it or not,
Is it called Love Me Tender?
it is called Love Me Tender. And it is probably one of his best performances in terms of singing a song really good in a movie ever. And he's not bad at it, but he's playing a country Western singer guy, so it's still pretty good.
Love me tender, love me sweet.
What's the movie called again?
The movie is called Love Me Tender. The song, however, is called Love Me Tender. So they're different.
I didn't know Tinder existed back then.
Nope, different movie.
Different movie.
They'll remake it as Love Me Tender with an I, and it'll probably make bank. Austin Butler, that'll be his career. He'll just be like, dude, let's do a bunch of Elvis movies again, but modernize them. Love Me Tender is the first one. We're writing a screenplay.
Yeah.
The 9th.
Hey, copyright on that.
Number 2, I have Jailhouse Rock. It's a movie where prison's involved.
What?
It's black and white. He's Elvis Presley, and believe it or not, he sings a song and other songs. But one of those songs is called
Suspicious Minds?
No. Oh, try it again.
Oh, is it Jailhouse Rock?
It's Jailhouse Rock. Jailhouse Rock is the movie, and he sings a song called Jailhouse Rock in it. This one is a legitimately good movie that is Elvis in it. It's just cast really well because it's Jailhouse Rock and it's Elvis Presley. And then at number 1, Viva Las Vegas. This features a song in it also.
What?
Called Viva Las Vegas.
Ooh.
Which is as opposed to the movie Viva Las Vegas, which is called Viva Las Vegas. This one's really fun. This is probably his most fun movie. This features Elvis having fun, but also Anne Margaret. You might recognize her. She later goes on to be in Grumpy Old Men. Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon are fawning over and try to get with. Yeah, she's pretty great in general too. So these kind of have a really nice pairing. Probably one of the better pairings he's given in one of these The Girls Want Me movies.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
There's a lot of movies where girls want him.
Basically, that's every movie he's ever made.
Except Josh Rock.
Well, there probably are some girls that want to be but it's mostly about him trying to make it in music and stuff. There's actually one movie called Kissing Cousins. He's in.
Ooh.
And you can only imagine what that's about. I have seen it. Not that good. It was not on my list.
So what happens in Kissing Cousins?
Well, he goes down south. Not kidding. He stays with a bunch of girls for the weekend. A couple of whom, I believe, happen to be his cousins. I remember it enough to where I made it my Letterboxd review. And I could put that up for you now, and hopefully you spit out your drink after reading it. Because someone in the comments did, so we can only pray that it happens again.
One more time.
One more time for the fellas. Now we're going to get to the songs in movies. Elvis has had many great singing songs in his own movies, as we previously mentioned. A lot of them are the titles of his songs that are really good.
Yep.
But this one is actually different. This is where they have a scene, and they put the Elvis song in it, in one way or another. So that's where we're kind of going down here. We looked at the entire soundtrack credits on IMDb, and this is what we chose. And for this, I am taking off my jacket because there is no AC in the house at the moment. I just needed to wear this because it's an Elvis Presley video. And that was important to me and my viewers.
So here's our list. At number 12, we have Looney Tunes.
Back in action. This is Joe Dante live action movie where Brendan Fraser stars and they have the Looney Tunes and they try to stop Steve Martin from being crazy. Yes. One particular scene we're referencing is they're headed to Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! You've got no music in your soul, sister.
I am aware of that, yes.
Looney Tunes is pretty iconic. Bugs Bunny, one of the most iconic characters of all time. Elvis, one of the most iconic musicians of all time. It's just a really perfect marriage. Number 11, we're going to go on a different route and choose another animated movie, and that's Happy Feet. The movie has a lot of music in general. This is kind of about dancing because of the feet being happy and the dancing involved heavily in that. But one of the characters in particular in this movie is named Memphis in honor of Elvis. And he's kind of from that area, you know? Hugh Jackman does the voice of this guy, and he does a very good Elvis impression throughout the movie as the character, and he sings Heartbreak Hotel in it.
Well, since Mom left me, I found a new place to dwell. It's down at the end of Only Street at Heartbreak Hotel, and I said, I'm feeling so lonely, baby.
Number 10, Men in Black. The scene we're talking about is when they're talking about Elvis. They were like, dude, you know Elvis is dead?
And then he's like, no, he just went back home.
You do know Elvis is dead, right? No, Elvis is not dead. He just went home.
Their explanation for him being so unique and iconic was he was an alien the whole time and he went back to his planet. So that's how unique he was, is that he was literally an alien. But the song they use in this movie is called The Promised Land. We felt like that warranted an inclusion just because that's kind of cool, little mythos of Elvis.
Being an alien.
Yeah, Men in Black, bad aliens. And they're like, hey, let's write a funny thing about Elvis being an alien. Very cool. At 9, we have The Conjuring 2.
When you think of Elvis, you don't think horror movies, do you? But in this particular case, you should. They're having a nice family moment, and he's singing to his wife with the little ukulele thing. Singing, I can't help falling in love with you.
Wise men say, everybody now, take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can tell, falling in love with you.
But 2 minutes later, house haunted.
It's a nice little character building moment and made me actually care about these characters. The first movie is better, but the first movie is like just really well done, scary and stuff. The second movie is that too, but at the same time it builds on like the characters and gives a little backstory to it.
Thank you very much.
At 8 we have This Is Spinal Tap. This movie has a lot of songs in it. This movie is one of the most iconic music movies of all time in general. It's one of the funniest music movies of all time. It literally goes up to 11.
The numbers all go to 11.
Go to IMDb, you can literally rate this movie out of 11. The other movies you can rate out of 10. This movie you can actually rate out of 11.
These go to 11.
This movie they sing Heartbreak Hotel, which is an Elvis song.
Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that Heartbreak Hotel. Oh, this is thoroughly depressing.
Number 7, we have True Romance. This movie actually features a fictional version of Elvis, played by Val Kilmer. It has a really big role in the plot in terms of telling the main character what to do, and it kind of motivates him a little bit throughout the movie. Heartbreak Hotel is the key song they use in this movie as a set piece in the film.
So lonely, I could die.
Number 6, Wild at Heart.
This movie is another movie where there's a big character that plays an Elvis-like version. This is Nicolas Cage, and he's the star of this movie. For his performance, he literally studied Elvis and just decided to impersonate Elvis, basically, even though his character is not Elvis Presley. It's just that's what his character does the whole movie. But this works. This movie is like a fantasy kind of David Lynch movie. They quote Elvis a lot in this movie. They have a bunch of Elvis references. He looks like Elvis. And the song they use in this movie is Love Me Tender, plays towards the end in one of the fantasy sequences.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go.
Number 5, Blade Runner 2049, features songs Suspicious Minds and Can't Help Falling in Love with You. The scene is set up really well direction. It's like nobody's in this bar area. Really well done in terms of the way it's set up, and it gets you kind of having tension while also just being like, this is awesome and it's really cool that it's just like in the future, but it's also like diving into like the past with these Elvis songs and like that whole kind of jukeboxy thing.
I like this song.
Number 4, Ocean's 11, with a little less conversation. Just a lot more action. So this movie is 11 guys, believe it or not. They're going to rob a casino. And this song just plays. And it sets up beautifully. It just really gets you in the mood of robbing shit.
It's been copied so many times. I was looking through all the credits and there's so many little less conversation credited songs.
Close your eyes and listen to the music, to the soft breeze. It's a groovy night and I can use it to come along with your mind at ease. Less conversation, more action.
For some of the most random movies too. Shark Tale was one of the credits that I found particularly funny. And number 3, we have The Blues Brothers. This movie is also one of the most iconic music movies of all time and iconic music comedies of all time. And this features a climactic ending scene featuring the song Jailhouse Rock. The Blues Brothers, they are in prison and they sing this song for them. And it's a very nice way to end this movie.
Walk through party to county jail. Prison I was there, began to wail. Band was jumping and the joke began to swing. Should have heard the knocked out jailbird sing, let's rock. Everybody, let's rock.
Where were they at the beginning of the movie? They were in prison. What? It begins and ends in prison?
It's like a circle.
That's on a block of stone. Way over in the corner, we all alone. Said, buddy, don't you be no scare. You can't get a partner, use a wood chair. Rock. Everybody, let's rock. Everybody knows that dancing around rock.
They're a mission from God.
We're on a mission from God.
Number 2, Forrest Gump. Really wanted to be number 1, but you'll see what's at number 1. In Forrest Gump, there's one particular song from Elvis that's in this movie. It's called Hound Dog. Believe it or not, Forrest Gump taught Elvis his moves. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. And he's shaking his hips.
Swinging my hips.
The next scene, walking past a convenience store and see a TV in the front window and Elvis is playing and he's shaking his hips. And his mom said No children to watch that.
It's not for children's eyes.
Even though he stayed in her house. What the heck?
She doesn't like his music.
But doesn't like his music. But, oh yeah, you can stay at my house. You can sleep on the couch. What the heck?
Fourth wasn't even mad he ripped him off. He was just kind of like appreciative of like, this guy can dance. No, they're his moves.
His moves.
Shaking of the hips. Number 1, Lilo and Stitch. This entire movie soundtrack is basically Elvis songs. And so you could pick a number of Elvis songs to set your scene with for this particular movie. I can run down on a list. Spacious Minds, Stuck on You, Hound Dog again, Heartbreak Hotel again, You're the Devil in Disguise, and then Burnin' Love over the end credits. And many, many, many more. Some very iconic, memorable scenes I can remember. Heartbreak Hotel plays as Lilo is literally depressed beyond all get out.
Leave me alone to die.
And she's just sitting there like, Heartbreak Hotel, and she's like mumbling the words, like lip syncing. She's like, I'm so lonely, baby. She's literally so lonely she could die. And you feel it in the moment because Lilo is such a massive Elvis fan. Of course, this is the song she plays when she's depressed. And then you got Stitch dressing up like Elvis a bunch of times. You got him doing the hound dog, just going nuts because he's a dog, right? You're the Devil in Disguise. It's an iconic sequence of him trying to get into better shape and be a better person.
Here, hold it like this. Fingers here. See? Now you try.
Lilo tries to model him after Elvis, who she claims is a model citizen.
Elvis Presley, model citizen.
He's trying to be exactly Elvis, and then You're the Devil in Disguise plays as he keeps messing up and doing Stitch evil things because that was what he's made to do. But he eventually learns in the end. And it's all thanks to Lilo and Elvis Presley. That's our list of songs and movies. Let us know if there are any other songs, just what your personal favorites are, and what you most remember in terms of like an Elvis movie story. We want to hear your Elvis movie story. A movie related to Elvis. It can be any kind of thing, just a reference, whatever. What does the movie you think of most when you're like, an Elvis movie?
Yeah,
and not
this guy right here.
This guy right here. Not Humphrey Bogart, not Marilyn Monroe, not James Dean. An Elvis movie.
An Elvis.
What is your Elvis movie? Austin Butler plays Elvis in the new film, of course. But some of the other iconic performances of Elvis in mainstream movies throughout the years are Bruce Campbell plays a very funny fictional version of him in the movie Bubba Hotep, where he's alive and he's also happens to live in this crazy home with John F. Kennedy, who's also survived.
Make me use my stuff on you, baby.
It's fun. Peter Dobson plays him in Forrest Gump, but Kurt Russell does the voice of him, which is kind of interesting. Tyler Hilton plays a young version of him in Walk the Line. Harvey Keitel plays him, one of the more famous people that's played him in terms of actor names. In a movie called Finding Graceland. Val Kilmer, of course, plays him in True Romance, like we mentioned. Michael Shannon gets to play him in Elvis and Nixon. He's got an appearance in Great Balls of Fire. Jack White plays him in Walk Hard. And he does all the karate stuff.
There's two things you need to know. I'm the king. And number two is, look out, man! Look at that, they're coming at you. You see that? It's called karate, man, and only two kinds of people know. The Chinese and the king. One of them is me.
What about y'all, man?
Yeah. A very honorable mention. Rockadoodle is a movie that stars a freaking rooster. He's modeled after Elvis Presley very clearly. His name is Chanticleer. Glenn Campbell actually plays this character. It's a Don Bluth movie, not necessarily one of the better ones, but I remember watching this a bunch on the VHS as a kid. Felt like you all would enjoy seeing this poster because you might remember this movie and it probably made you smile. Elvis is in theaters now. Let us know if you've seen the movie, what you thought of it. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button to let us know that you liked it. That's what the like button does, actually. It lets us know you like the video. And also, while you're here, you might as well check out a few more videos. Here are some videos that we made in the past. Links will be in the description, so check them out. But also, check out Elvis.
Watch that movie.